Hi, everybody. It's your faithful SMOD channel owner, leader, checking in here. I wanted to make a special video today because Meadow of Doom has just hit its 10-year anniversary. I started the channel for the first time actually in 2013, so this is actually the 11-year anniversary, technically. The first channel was operating throughout 2013 into early 2014, and then it was terminated. YouTube deleted it because there were copyright complaints, takedown notices. I had too many of those, and so I lost the channel. It was called Meadow of Doom, so I count that as the beginning of the channel. But the channel you're watching now started in April of 2014, so it's coming up on 10 years. So for a special 10-year anniversary video, I just wanted to do a little special video about myself and the background of why I started the channel and kind of just my history growing up and how I got into doing music promotion and stuff like that. I thought it might be an interesting video to get into some of my background of how this channel came to be. So I just wanted to start off by saying hi. My name's Clint, and I started SMOD when I turned 20 years old. I was born in June 1993, so I'm going to be 31 years old this year. So I just wanted to talk about the history of the channel here at the beginning, so how I got into stoner rock and stuff like that. I started off listening to a lot of normie radio metal, of course, as a teenager. I'm sure a lot of you started on that kind of stuff that was on the radio a lot. Disturbed, Pantera, lots of bands like that. I did like Tool and some other more sophisticated bands, but it was mostly just radio metal. That was back when I was about 14, 15, 16. And then in my late teens, when I was in high school, I started to get more into stoner rock, and this was because my uncle had a handful of stoner rock bands in his collection, in his CD collection, and I had burned his entire CD collection to my computer when I was about 15 or 16, and I started to listen to some of these stoner rock albums. And it was my favorite. I mean, it was by far, it was blowing my mind. It was just way more interesting than the stuff you heard on the radio. Some of the first albums were like Monster Magnets, Dopes to Infinity, and Power Trip, and Super Judge. Those were all albums that I was listening to when I was about 16 years old. And also Down, the supergroup, they put out that album called NOLA, and that's a stoner sludge album that has all the people from Crowbar and I Hate God and Pantera, and it's a pretty stoner album. So those were some of my first exposures to stoner rock. Monster Magnet was a big one that got me into stoner rock. So as soon as I started to get more into stoner rock, I started to get online a lot more and search for stoner rock bands that you weren't going to hear on the radio. Of course, Monster Magnet, you can hear them on the radio. At least some of their later stuff from Power Trip gets on the radio. Of course, Space Lord and stuff like that. But I wanted to get into some, more underground stuff. And so I used Last.fm, the website Last.fm. It's a great website for music discovery. I started to stream music on Last.fm and found some bands that kind of snowballed into, Stoned Jesus. That was one of the first ones that I listened to, and I was still in high school at the time. I was about 17 years old. I was listening to Stoned Jesus while I was in high school, while everybody else in my class was listening to, I don't even know, Lil Wayne, Kesha, Drake, garbage like that. I was listening to stuff like Stoned Jesus. And I also got into stuff like Clutch and Melvins in high school. While I was still in high school, I was into the Melvins, and I was into Clutch. But in terms of starting the YouTube channel, it really snowballed with Last FM, finding stuff like Stone Jesus on there. And of course, on that website, it's a great feature. They have related artists and they have lists page after page of similar artists. Well, if you just go through there, man, you can find so many different bands that you never would have heard of before. So that's what I used. I used Last FM to build up my knowledge of underground stoner rock. So by the time I was in college, around 2012, 2013, I was ready. I was already doing a stoner rock type channel, kind of called Doom Stoner 93, way back. I don't know if anybody remembers those channels, but I had Doom Stoner 93 way back in like 2011. And Electric Black Wizard was another channel that I named and ran, but I lost both of those channels due to copyright takedown notices. I used to just upload whatever the hell I wanted to, and obviously that bit me in the butt. But through losing multiple channels, I learned which labels I could upload from and which labels I couldn't. There was a select handful of labels that did stoner rock that I could upload, and they weren't going to remove my videos. So I learned through trial and error several years before this channel here, and I don't ever get any copyright violations anymore. Of course, everything I upload nowadays I'm sent and asked directly to upload, but back when I was forming the channel, I needed to build an audience, and that's how I did it. I just kind of uploaded whatever I found online, and I noticed that there wasn't any full album channels. Like I was always more of an album person versus a song person. I liked to listen to full albums way back in high school days. So I saw that there was nobody on YouTube doing full album uploads back in like 2012, 2013. I was really, there just wasn't very much of that full album streaming. So I thought I saw a great opportunity to do a full album streaming channel. And so I filled that market, and in terms of the name, the name was pretty easy to come up with. It was really pretty simple to come up with. It flowed really well, and I don't think it took too long to think of. But what I did to come up with Stoned Meadow of Doom was I combined stoner, the stoner genre, with doom, the doom genre. And for the Meadow, I got that from one of my favorite bands at the time when I first started the channel. It was one of the bands that I was originally into. Okay, I'm sure most of you know Dead Meadow. So I took the Meadow, combined it with stoner and doom, and got Stoned Meadow of Doom. And that name was a huge part of the success of this channel. There's no doubt about it. And it just kind of, I guess Dead Meadow was what started it, and just taking the genres and adding that to Dead Meadow's band name. I was such a huge fan of Dead Meadow back in the early days of SMOD. So that's how I came up with Stone Meadow of Doom name. Pretty simple. So like I said, there weren't very many full album channels. There may have been people uploading full albums, but there was nobody really doing it full time as a promotional tool. So I took the opportunity to start doing that in 2013. I failed miserably and had my channel deleted, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to start another channel, name it the same thing because the name was so great. And I learned through trial and error what I could upload and what I couldn't upload. And then eventually in 2015, I started doing pretty much just submissions from bands, just people sending me their stuff. And then it was safe. I didn't really have to deal with any copyright problems after that. So that was good. But Last FM was a very important tool in getting this started, finding Stone Jesus. And of course, Truck Fighters is another band that I found. Okay, Gravity X, obviously. So I used this guy. I thought he was so cool, and I thought he really fit the stoner, desert, psych feel that I wanted for my channel. So I thought that's got to be my avatar, and so that's how I found that, and that was on Last FM as well. So those were some of the first albums I uploaded. Of course, Dead Meadows, self-titled, Gravity X. I uploaded them way back in 2013 as well, the full album. And of course, some stuff like this. I put up Ohm's Variations on a Theme, a great drone doom band from Sleep's, a couple of Sleep's members. This is their debut album. I also had a Pilgrimage, I believe, on the channel at one time. And of course, the first album I put up on this channel, this is Witch's self-titled album. This is of Jay Macis's band, the guy from Dinosaur Jr. And this had the famous song Seer, I believe. Yes, Seer. Very famous stoner doom song. So that was the first album I put up on this channel. I also put up Weird Al, Ever the Silver Cord Be Loosed. So I started the channel in that time doing basically just 2000s stoner rock. And I used not only Last.fm, but also several record labels from the 2000s stoner rock scene. And there were some really good record labels that I used. I'm going to do another video about just the labels that I used and do a presentation on a handful of labels that I used that were really influential in starting this channel. But I will say, like Small Stone Records and Man's Ruins Records, stuff like that were really influential. I kind of just went to their websites and checked out which albums were interesting, and I put them up. So that's what I was doing for the first years of the channel. That's how I got this whole thing started. I started the channel when I was in college. I was actually in my first year of college, and I eventually graduated. I'm going to show you. I eventually graduated community college. Okay. I don't know how well this will show up, but I actually got a degree in radio production and media arts and broadcasting. So I actually majored in radio broadcasting. And in fact, back in 2013, 2014, I was doing my own radio show on a college station, and I was able to program whatever music I wanted. And I was actually playing Truck Fighters and all sorts of stoner rock on the radio. So if you were driving in town, you could actually hear stoner rock on a radio station in the college town I was a part of. So it was a very fun time in my life. So I went to college for media arts and broadcasting because since I was a high schooler, I really wanted to do music promotion. I wanted to play music. I wanted to play music for a living. That was my dream job. So went to school for broadcasting, got my degree, and found an opportunity on YouTube that a void that needed filled. And so that's how this all came about. It was my passion for wanting to be a radio broadcaster, playing music, introducing people to music, passion for music, and the timing of YouTube coming about, becoming a big platform, and Last.fm, some websites that I could easily use to find music. All these things coming together at just the right time allowed me to do a fantastic music promotion channel and actually do my dream job, which I've been doing now for 10 years. This channel means everything to me. It's like breathing to me. This is like eating supper, I can't imagine not doing SMOD. I can't imagine not uploading music for people. It's such a big part of me. I would just feel like I would feel so wrong if I wasn't doing it. So this channel has been everything in my life, and I wanted to thank everybody for subscribing and bearing with me because I've had to delete a lot of albums several different times. Just when you're doing music promotion channels, you deal with some situations where you have to protect yourself from potential YouTube problems, because YouTube, they're kind of touchy about uploading music that you don't create. Even if you have permission, they're a little touchy about that, and they will remove your albums and ask questions later. And you could actually have your channel deleted. You could be in the right. You could have gotten asked to upload the albums, but I do have a SMOD upload list if anybody is interested and you haven't heard about it. I give that out to people who sign up on my Patreon and just toss me, there's no price. It's just whatever you want to toss me, If you sign up on my Patreon, I will send you my SMOD upload document list. Everything that was on the channel up until around 2020, which is about 2,000 albums. I have them in alphabetical order, and I have Bandcamp links to each album. So if you are missing some of those old albums and you want to go back and find them and listen to them again, I have a list in alphabetical order that I can send you, which has the Bandcamp link next to it, which you can then go to and listen and buy the album on Bandcamp. I felt bad that the albums were no longer on the channel, so I decided to compile this list and make sure that it's available to people that toss me a little bit of support. So if you want that, I highly recommend it. And also just, I need the help. I always need the support. This is my full-time job, so any support is really appreciated. So 10 years of Stone Meadow of Doom. I just wanted to give you the background on the channel and my personal life, and I developed a love for music pretty young, and through my dream job of music promotion and YouTube and filling that void of full album uploads that was not around, I was pretty much the first one to do stoner rock full album uploads. So I just wanted to go over the history and get a little more personal. So I appreciate everybody that tuned into this video. Hopefully it was interesting to you. I will be back to bring you some more music pretty soon, so stay tuned. Thanks again for all your support, and doom on, guys.